Hello and welcome to Midnight. This is Reverend Anna from Anna Transylvania's Tarot Room with your Starry Sunday astrology report for the week of the 7th through the 15th, okay? Now, I'm interspersing this Starry Sunday with Magic Monday. We have a short week this week, so I'm gonna try to keep it short, okay? I'm gonna try to keep it short. I'm also going to be enjoying a short astrological week, okay? Not that much stuff is happening. Oh, everybody just needs to wind down from the last few weeks. Oh my God, it's been so crazy, okay? Uh, but for some of us, it's good crazy. For some of us, it's bad crazy. For some of us, it's just crazy, okay? All right, so let's start off with Venus conjuncting Neptune on the 7th, which is today. Okay. Now, when Venus conjuncts Neptune, it lasts a couple of days, okay? Some people say it lasts until, the next time they conjunct or whatever. Like it lasts a couple of days. Like the effects are intense only for a couple of days, and then we get to really look at the results, okay? So with Venus conjunction Neptune, it's a very nebulous day. It's kind of like a confusing on an emotional level day. So Neptune is the lord of confusion, illusions, things like this. And so today is not necessarily a day of making choices, okay? Today is a day of actually taking a look at where we're imagining stuff, okay? Now the flip side of Venus conjuncting Neptune is actually we can be creative today. We can do, fun, relaxing things, self-care, take a bath. Um, we can do any kind of art project today would be an excellent day to like kind of just shed our skin, and just let ourselves just have, you know, a day where we're starting an art project, starting even a cleaning project would be good today, okay? Maybe not, I mean, some of you are gonna be like, oh my God, we're too tired with cleaning. What are we talking about? Okay. Maybe like learn to cook a new dish. Figure out what it is that you want. Like what of your dreams is the dream, okay? What would you like to have in the next decade of your life? What would you like to have in the next year of your life? Kind of like that. It's like get in contact with your emotions, get in contact with your subconscious, and like allow yourself to go forward, move forward with some dreams. Make the first step on a dream. You know, even if it's big, like making a plan is a good thing right now because we can actually go, oh, subconsciously, like this is making me feel good, but this is not making me feel good. Stuff like this, okay? So today, tomorrow, okay? Now, today and tomorrow are gonna be also kind of intense because we're talking about, Venus conjuncting Neptune. Well, Neptune is conjunct Saturn, so they're not within the same degree anymore. They're like a degree apart now, but it's still like that whole planning for your future, that whole taking the first step on a plan and everything like that. I forget what I was watching. I was watching somebody on YouTube, so I'm apologizing. I forget who it was or what it was called. But it was this guy, and I forget the guy's name too. Okay, perfect for Venus conjuncting Neptune and Saturn. Okay, the brain not function. Okay, um, so we are talking about. So the guy that I was watching, he was talking about how. Oh, how was he putting it? Like, oh, he was talking about the mechanics of how to ask somebody what their goals are and says, like if you hire somebody or if you're vetting somebody to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, um, you can ask them to put like 10 goals down on a sheet of paper that they want to do this year. And then you'll ask them to pick the top three, then you'll ask them to pick the top one. And once they pick the top one, they need to sit down and actually plot it out for the 12 months. What are you going to do each in the 12 months? And then 4 more in the weeks, okay, for each month. And then that day, start with step number one. Any small step, start with step number one, okay? That's the vibe of the next couple of days. This week, really, as a whole, this is going to be the vibe, okay? People are going to just be like, okay, well, what is your goal? What is your dream? What is your aspiration? What do I have to do? What kind of commitments do I have to make to make this happen? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? So today and tomorrow, we're having kind of a thing like this, okay? Now, it's worth mentioning that it's unclear, like we're making steps, but it's unclear what the end result will be still, okay? Because for some of us, it's going to be so far away, all right? So don't hold yourself to like finishing it this year or if it's a 10-year plan, it's okay. It's a 10-year plan, but you still have to do one step today, one step this week, okay? So after all of that, Mercury is going trine with Jupiter in Pisces. So what we have is a clarity of mind, okay? So whatever idea that we had is being multiplied. It's being sort of, it's a very great lucky day. The 9th is a very lucky day for people, okay? Because we're having clarity of mind about where we could go. Like if you've already done the preliminaries and you've done all of that work planning this stuff out, on the 9th, it's going to be very clear which step we're having to take to move forward, okay? And it's almost going to come like, like a enlightenment out of the heavens, okay? Like just stroke of genius, like an idea, or wow, I never thought about it this way and this way and this way, but this is how. Okay. So on the 9th, expect to sort of have a leap forward, just a kind of a lucky leap forward, right? Now, on the 10th, we have Venus sextiling Pluto. Pretty sexy, okay? This is going to be the sexy, sexy day, but it's also a power play kind of day. So it's about who has power and where. Like if you're thinking about getting a new career as your dream or whatever, today you're going to be faced with some power plays within that career, or you're going to be faced with some intense transformational energy in that area. All of this is meant to make you say, okay, do I really want this or not really? Okay, so it's a little bit of a test, but the sextiles are good aspects, okay? The sextiles are excellent aspects. That's why I'm saying it's a very good and sexy day. It's a day to empower yourself. It's a day for empowerment. I wouldn't be surprised because Pluto's kind of a generational planet, more than a generational planet, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if on that day on a global scale, people are like, who loves us? What about us? And maybe there's protests and things like this, with the Venus sextile Pluto, there's that element of power versus love, okay? Even if it's a sextile, there's still that like little kind of, just a little bit of conflict, just a little bit of, spice to the day, okay? So expect the 10th to be a spicy day. People are expecting forward momentum and everything like this on their dream, on the things that they're doing, on this plan that they're making, stuff like that. So because they're expecting that forward momentum, maybe on the 10th, like something's gonna happen to where, holy cannoli, like the forward momentum just ain't there. All right. So people are gonna be pushing for the forward momentum to keep moving. Okay. And the fact that it's also in Aries, it makes me think it's gonna be a little volatile, okay? So just expect the 10th to kind of be a little bit of a spicy day, okay? Like a little bit argumentative, a little bit, um, but these arguments are necessary. They're necessary for movement forward. They're necessary for transforming your psyche. They're necessary for coping with what's going on in the world. They're necessary. So expect discourse, expect people at high levels like CEOs, CFOs, politicians, all of these, to be arguing with each other, to be like having conflicts. Expect, a little bit of friction in between the feminine and masculine energies. Expect things to kind of come to light this week, okay? Like there's gonna be some informations coming to light on the global scene, with Mercury trine Jupiter and Venus sextile Pluto. People are gonna be uncovering stuff and they're gonna be putting it out online, whether it's legal or not, okay? Uh, because they're like, well, I locked upon this information. Everybody needs to know that. With the Mercury trine Jupiter, we could really see that. Okay, we could really see the sleuthing. We could really see like the people putting two and two together, and it's exactly correct, even if we're not seeing the big picture. Uh, you know, so I expect journalists to speak out. I expect to see reports of things that we haven't seen. So yeah, on a global level, it's gonna be a pretty spicy week as far as like information sharing. Um, and as far as people going, well, what about us? What about our dreams? What about what we want as a nation, as a people, as a global community, as a, interest group, okay. So, um, and it's gonna be very much about compassion for others. It's gonna be very much about what are we doing to like help our fellow man. Okay, very humanitarian week with Venus and Mercury and Jupiter. It's like a very humanitarian week. Even Pluto can be quite humanitarian, even though he's the lord of the underworld, like he can be quite humanitarian. So I would say this week, take your days in the beginning of the week and do your self-care. Okay, I said last week we needed a lot of self-care. Well, continue that into this week, but this week is really about, okay, after the self-care of last week and after like how intense it was last week, okay, because we're still having the intensity. It's a little mellower, okay. So it's about how do we make sure that we handle this intensity? How do we make sure that we cope with the intensity on a psychological, emotional, and mental level this week, okay? And then on the physical level, once Jupiter goes direct, we'll talk about it in a sec, okay? So yeah, so I would say take your self-care at the beginning of the week. Make your 1-year plan, make your 4-year plan, make your 10-year plan, make your 5-year plan, okay? Make your plan. And then do at least one step before, okay, before Jupiter goes direct, which is on the 11th. So you have like 5 days to do like a little step for your plans, okay? A little step for your self-care plan, okay? Do your nails, do your makeup. But actually, think about your dreams, okay? I say do your nails, do your makeup, that's okay, okay? But think about your dreams. Think about what you want to bring in instead of what you don't want to have, okay? Because there'll be plenty of time for you to think about what you don't want to have, yeah? Okay. Anyway, let's keep moving. The biggie this week is Jupiter direct in Cancer, and that is happening on the 11th at 3:30 in the morning. Those of you who are magically inclined, okay, a very good faith day, okay, very good faith. Like if you've lost faith in something, very good for reclaiming your faith in that one thing. If you haven't prayed, very good day to pray. A very good day to ask favors from your deities. Okay, very good day to say thank you to your deities. Okay, thank you all. Thank you. Okay. A very good day to take care of your home. So if you've made a plan and if your home is in your plan, a very good day to make a plan about what you're going to be taking care about in your home. Okay? Like if you need to paint that wall or change the curtain or whatever, pretty good day for that. Okay? Pretty good week for that, pretty good month for that. Okay? Well, a couple of weeks. Maybe not month, but a couple of weeks. Okay? Jupiter going direct lasts a bit. So let's see. I am going to read to you. Okay? Jupiter goes direct in Cancer. It will affect, in order of intensity, Cancer, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Scorpio. Okay? So, on a personal level, emotional security becomes a central motivator. Individuals focus on home life, we already talked about that, family bonds, relocation, or long-term stability. Growth comes through nurturing environments and building support systems. Like we talked about for your dreams, okay, like we talked about in the beginning for your dreams, it is time to include others in your dreams. How will they be affected? What will they be doing? Okay. Many people seek property, roots, and emotional anchoring. Protective instincts heighten. Okay. So, I said it's going to be spicy. It's going to continue to be spicy because Cancerian people are fiercely protective of their family and home. Okay. So, when you have a planet going direct in Cancer, such as Jupiter, it'll multiply them. Think 10x. 10x the protective instinct towards your family, homeland. Okay, so expect some spice. Okay, expect some pushback. Expect some people to like. Cancerians are very, very caring people. Okay, they care about the environment that they're in. They care about, everybody having a home, not just themselves. Okay, so in that way, they're super humanitarian. They are, the people who are in the soup kitchens, serving the soup to all the homeless. They're the activists who speak out against violence. They're the pacifists of the group. They're the ones who emotionally calibrate entire groups of people. Okay, um, I think Selena Gomez is a Cancer. Don't quote me. Okay. um, so on a mundane level, forward movement in domestic policy, housing, agricultural, national protection frameworks, public sentiment prioritizes safety, belonging, and preservation. It also prioritizes doing good for your fellow man. I know what I'm saying, okay, is a little bit more Piscean in tone, but we have a bunch of planets in Pisces. So we're already considering that. So, like, when Jupiter goes into Cancer, it's heightened as well, because Jupiter multiplies everything, but we also have those planets, the in the humanitarian of Pisces, okay? So like we're gonna be seeing that. We're gonna be seeing people going, well, what about these people over here? What about these people who are starving? What about these people who are at war? What about these people, who are migrating from place to place to place because they, nobody's admitting them? What about all of these things? So we're gonna be seeing. So that's a prediction. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay. With Jupiter going direct is gonna kind of give voice to the spiciness. Before it was just like nebulous spiciness. Now it's got a voice. Now it's got, what are we fighting for? Like, what is this home? What does it look like that we're fighting for? Okay. So anything to do with home, I would say, if you're magically inclined, okay, cleansing for your home is a very good one in Cancer. Cleansing the emotional vibes, not smudging necessarily, but asperging. Like, spraying your home with stuff, washing your walls with water and, protective things. Washing your windows, making sure that your landscaping, like if you're in a warmer area, okay? I mean, yeah. Making sure your bushes are trimmed. That was not a pun, okay? Um, Making sure your bushes are trimmed, making sure that any kind of protections for your house are put in place. So protective wards are put in place. So cleansing, excellent day, excellent week for cleansing. Excellent week for any kind of self-care, again, okay? But this one is more about planning a long-term plan for your health, for your happiness, for your well-being, and kind of relaxing. Like, how are you going to embed relaxing into your week? Okay. So, very good day for like starting any kind of like self love ritual. Okay. Also, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which means he's more potent there. Okay. So, any kind of wish magic, okay, Cancerians with Piscean energy, they're very good at manifesting when they believe that they can do these things, okay? When things feel good, they manifest, okay? When things feel clean. So that's why I'm recommending cleansing rituals. This week would be an excellent to clean that corner of the clutter and like declutter it and leave the clutter out and put what you want there, or say, hey, I want this. Can you give me one that fits here? Okay, so wish magic, cleansing magic, protective for your home, everything for the home, everything for the home, everything for the home. Okay, gonna say it again, everything for the home. Okay, bless your home. Very good week for blessing your home. Also, because we have all of this Venusian and the mercurial, the Mercury trining Jupiter and all of this. Okay. I'm gonna say that it's a very good week for multiplying the good in your life. But for that, you have to concentrate on it, not on the bad. Okay. Very good week for that. So, those were some magical things. Now, I don't have it written down. Okay. I'll put the Jupiter. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me put the Jupiter in Cancer over here so that you guys can. Okay. Jupiter direct in Cancer. All right. Now, one of the things that I would recommend doing, and this is a very easy kind of freebie magic thing. I would say whatever multi-purpose cleaner that you use, okay? Like if you're going to be cleaning the house, if you're going to be like whatever, doing whatever cleaning, okay? If you're doing mop water, if you're doing multi-purpose cleaner, if you're, if you're washing your tub, whatever it is that you're doing, I would say bless your tools before you do it and say they're also cleansing the environment. They're also cleansing the energetic debris. Okay. So like if you're using your multi-purpose cleaner, say I empower you to cleanse the air as well. Now, vinegar also happens to be an excellent cleaner and an excellent debris remover, as is lemon, as is orange, any kind of citrus. If it's sour, it cuts through the negative energy, okay? If it's a little sweet, like a kumquat, mandarin, orange, okay? Also great abrasive, also good, but it also attracts the good. So if you just want to cut, I would say use a lemon scented thing, or lemon juice with like dish soap in a bottle, or okay? And bless it to cleanse the energy as well as to clean whatever it is that you're cleaning. Okay? Excellent, excellent. You can always dump vinegar into anything, not bleach. Okay? Don't mix vinegar with bleach. Okay? That's the only thing that you can't dump vinegar into is the bleach or bleach related product. Okay? So if you're using any kind of cleaner, you can dump a little vinegar in there, bless the vinegar before you dump it. Say, this is to cleanse the environment, take the nasties out, put them in the bucket. Okay? So that was a little cleaning tip, okay? If you're gonna be cleaning your environment. Okay? The other thing is putting wards up. Same deal, okay? Same deal. You can put your wards up and just, you can empower anything to be a ward for you. But those of you who know what I'm talking about, you already know how to put them up. So, okay. But I would definitely do like the clearing stones, make sure that they're empowered this day. Any kind of safety and security thing like that you use for protection, and tool that you use for protection can be blessed on this day is gonna be great. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. The last one, and I said it was gonna be short. By gosh darn it. Okay. It was not short. That's okay. Those of you who are still with me, love you guys. I love you all. Okay, but love you all. Okay, so on the 15th, so we don't have anything after the 11th, not that much, okay? There's always something going on, so if you want to concentrate on it, be my guest, okay? But I'm not, because I'm a busy person. Okay, so Jupiter direct. Then we have on the 15th, Mercury conjunct Mars. So this puts a cap to our week, right? We have cleansed, we have protected, we have, dreamt and then put it onto paper, right? Then, on the 15th, that is going to be tested, okay? On the 15th, we're going to have the testing of our boundary that we already put during Jupiter direct, okay? If we said, by gosh darn it, by, next week I'm going to have XYZ done, guess what? Somebody's going to come at us and they're going to be like, you're going to do what? Ha, 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 ha. No, you're not. Okay? And you're going to have to stand your ground. Okay? So we have a very spicy cap to our week. The Mercury conjunct Mars can be quite a volatile situation. Okay? It can be quite explosive. All right? Air feeds fire. Okay? So when those two conjunct, it's like, there's ideas for violence, there's idea for other things, okay? Impulsive ideas, okay? We're helped a little bit because it's in Pisces, but not too much, okay? Because when Mars is in Pisces, it's debilitated, which means it's like sort of repressed. So just imagine all of that explosive energy that Mars has, all of that active energy being repressed, being told, no, you're not, no, you're not. So then when Mercury comes in there, and, we're still in retrograde, okay? So Mercury in retrograde is telling the Mars, hey, what you doing over here? Wow, you're so pretty, you're so explosive. How about we get the bad idea? How about you get out of your cage and do some things, okay? So the Mercury retrograde is kind of looking at the Mars and going, hello, pretty, okay? And is inciting the Mars to express its repression, okay? Or repress some more, which will make it even explode better later, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a little bit of manipulative people doing manipulative things to make volatile situations even more volatile, to make violent situations even more violent. I don't want to make anybody afraid, okay? So I would say stay inside that day if you can, okay? I mean, it's gonna be a Saturday, so like, don't go out or go out and have fun and just indulge a little in your dark side, okay? If that's your choice. Um, there's going to be quite a lot of discourse on that day. There's going to be quite a lot of ideas being bounced around that day. All right. Not the greatest end of our week, okay? But I would say if we keep to the positive, the Mars conjunction Mercury retrograde is going to make us rethink how we act upon our impulses, okay? So if we keep to the light side of this, okay, I tend to go a little bit into the dark side, okay? I like a little spice, okay? But if we keep to the light side of this, the Mercury retrograde is gonna really make Mars, that impulse of us to do whatever the heck we want or whatever, is gonna be like, okay, so subconsciously you kind of want to do this thing and it's nasty, you know. How about we rethink that? How about let's think about it. Let's think about it, and let's maybe not. I you know. So on the positive side, it could be that Mercury is going to be acting as a sort of, hey, let's rethink that plan. That plan is not that good. It, it's gonna make you explode. It's gonna make you be so frustrated. Like, maybe not. Okay. On the negative side, it could be, hey, what you doing? Oh, look at that plan. How about we do this, right? It could go either way depending on the individual. And, politicians are individual too, okay? CEOs are individuals too. People who control large groups of people are individuals too. So, with the Mercury conjunction Mars in Pisces, it could go either way. It could go positive, negative, depending on your individual placements. I tend to think that whatever's going to happen on the 15th, the people who already protected themselves over here all week long, okay, they're actually going to be like, nope, we're not doing that. Okay, so the majority of people on this channel are not going to, they're going to stay inside. Maybe like they're going to have some spicy time inside, okay? Good time for a party. Good time for a, wild party if you want to have a wild party. Good time for that. Good time to have debate or a game night or like, stream your video game exploits, Take out your aggression in a different way. Writing it down is a great idea, okay? Because we're also having the Saturn over here. So writing it down is an excellent idea, okay? All right, guys. Well, that was the week. I thought I was going to be short, but I was long. Sorry about that. Love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Comment if you want to. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for staying. Bye.